What if I told you that some WNBA teams are struggling so badly right now, even their own fans are starting to lose faith? You'd think that having top draft picks, big name veterans, or a rich history would guarantee success. But for a few teams this season, that just isn't the case. Instead of rising to the moment, they're sinking faster than anyone expected. Imagine being a player giving it your all, training, traveling, battling night after night, only to come up short over and over again. These aren't bad athletes. These are world-class competitors stuck in systems that just aren't working. So who's crashing and burning harder than ever before? And why isn't anyone calling it out? Picture the scene. Locker rooms full of frustration, fan sections half empty, and a scoreboard that hasn't been kind in weeks. These teams didn't plan to fall apart, but it's happening right in front of us. If your favorite team's on this list, brace yourself. This won't be easy to hear, but it's necessary because in the next few minutes, we're counting down the 5 WNBA teams having the toughest time this season, looking at what's really going wrong and why their future might be in serious trouble. And trust me, number 1 will blow your mind, but not in a good way. Let's dive in. Let's start with the Indiana Fever. Yes, they've got Caitlin Clark now, and yes, she's already transforming the league's visibility, but when it comes to results, things aren't nearly as bright as they seem. Coming into 2024, the hype was electric. Clark was hailed as a franchise savior. Ticket sales exploded, and the Fever were suddenly in every national headline. But on the court, reality hit hard. They're still near the bottom in win-loss record. The offense often relies too heavily on Clark creating something out of nothing, and that's led to some growing pains. Caitlin currently leads the league in turnovers. That's not entirely her fault though. The spacing is shaky, the screens are soft, and defensive lapses happen way too often. Even with Aaliyah Boston and veterans like Kelsey Mitchell, the defense is ranked among the league's worst. They're giving up too many easy buckets and struggling to close games in crunch time. The truth is, this team is building something promising, but right now, it's raw, unpolished, and frankly, tough to watch at times. The Fever haven't. There's the Washington Mystics. Their fall has been slower, more subtle, but just as painful. In 2019, they reached the pinnacle of the WNBA, winning their first ever title behind MVP Elena Delle Donne. But that moment of glory hasn't lasted. Since that title run, the Mystics have struggled to stay competitive. In 2024, they were near the bottom of the league in offensive efficiency. They still defend well, sure, but scoring droughts destroy their momentum, and there's no consistent go-to option anymore. Injuries to Delle Donne and the aging of the roster have left them without leadership on the floor. What makes it worse is the indecision. They haven't committed to a full rebuild, but they also aren't really contending. That middle ground is the worst place to be. Not bad enough to land top picks, not good enough to make a playoff run. Their younger players aren't developing fast enough, and the veterans can't carry the load. Fans are frustrated, and rightfully so. The team feels stuck, unsure whether to look forward or cling to the past. It's hard to watch a championship team slowly drift into irrelevance. So we've seen two teams struggling to reclaim their former glory. But what happens when a team never had direction to begin with? Just decades of losing and fading hope. Let's talk about that next. At number 2, we have the Phoenix Mercury, a franchise that still carries star power, history, and loyal fans, but on the court, things are spiraling. Brittany Griner's emotional return brought hope. Diana Taurasi, a living legend, is still out there giving everything she's got. But despite the big names, the results just aren't coming. In 2024, the Mercury ranked among the bottom 2 in nearly every major defensive category. They're struggling to contain opposing offenses, getting outpaced and outmuscled. Roster shakeups and coaching instability have only made it worse. Chemistry feels like an afterthought. Scoring has become painfully inconsistent, especially when the starters sit. The bench just can't hold its own, and close games keep slipping away. It's hard to watch because this is a team with championship DNA. But the league has evolved. Opponents are faster, deeper, and more system-driven. Phoenix still leans heavily on individual brilliance, but that doesn't win titles anymore. The heartbreaking truth? They're not just losing, they're lost. The Mercury hold the WNBA record for most playoff appearances in league history, yet they haven't made it past the first round since 2021, and with each passing season a big hole. In 2024, they ranked near the bottom in assist to turnover ratio, showing struggles with offense and ball movement. Attendance is dropping, and the chemistry that once made them strong is fading fast. Right now, the team seems stuck between rebuilding and just surviving. It's a tough place for any franchise, especially one fresh off a title. The harsh truth: the Sky have gone from champions to struggling in less than 3 years. Chicago Sky are one of only 4 teams to win a WNBA title in the last decade, highlighting how rare that success is. So with all this turmoil, what does it say about the league's future? Is this just growing pains or a bigger warning? Let's find out. Talent alone doesn't guarantee wins. Stability, chemistry, and timing matter most. Even the strongest teams can collapse without solid foundations. Success in the WNBA isn't about a single star. It's about how the whole team fits together. These 5 teams aren't just struggling. They reveal how fragile greatness can be. Some had hype, some had history, but none are built to win right now. Will they turn it around or fall further? Every franchise faces ups and downs, but these teams are in serious trouble. Now you know the real story behind the stats and headlines. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more bold breakdowns. Think your team can bounce back? Comment below.